The multiple response grouping item is an item that is very similar to the multiple response select all that apply item that we already seen, except that the options are presented in categories or by group in a table with a minimum of 2 columns and 5 rows. Now, here's the difference. Each category will have 2 or 4 options per row and require that at least one response option is selected. Professor, show me an example of this, because I don't really understand it by the definition of what a multiple response grouping item is. Let me show you an example and let's practice this following question. The scenario is this. So I am letting you know the scenario because I couldn't fit everything in one page, in one slide. So listen to this information, okay? So the nurse admits an 11-month-old infant who has possible bacterial meningitis. Okay, so start identifying the key information. 11-month-old infant, so write that down because you don't have it here in the slide. So write on your notebook, on your whatever you have, put 11-month-old infant. So write that down. Possible bacterial meningitis. And the infant is being transferred to the acute pediatric care unit. Now, here comes the question. So it's a very small scenario. Identify, okay, or click or select which potential nursing interventions are appropriate for the client care. So this is no different than a select or apply that you know, but is in a table format. So out of these 7 answers, what do you think applies to an 11-month-old infant who possibly has bacterial meningitis? So comment in the comment section your answers, and let's see how many you get correct. I will tell you at the end how many correct answers there are, and then you tell me if you did it right or wrong. So 11-month-old infant, bacterial meningitis. Let's go to the respiratory system, because we have several systems to discuss in this question. On the respiratory system, we have incentive spirometer every 2 hours, oxygen therapy via nasal cannula, chest x-ray now and at bedtime, 4 continuous pulse oximetry monitoring, 5 droplet precaution, 6 seizure precautions, and 7 neurologic check every day. Now, I want to show you how to identify keywords inside the answers, because you not only look for keywords on the question stem, you also look for keywords on the answers. So what do we have? What do we have in common in these answers? Well, we have some time frame, every 2 hours. We have now, bedtime, and we have every day. So we have in a few of the answers a time frame. Every time you see time frame, you really need to pay attention to the time frame, because the time frame can change everything. Okay? Now, we also have precautions. Droplet precaution and seizure precaution. We have to identify if it applies. But we also have another time frame that is important, which is continuous. That is important. Now, I already have an idea of what the keywords are. So how am I going to answer this question? I'm going to go one by one, step by step, and say, is this a proper nursing intervention for a patient, infant, with bacterial meningitis, with a possible bacterial meningitis? Yes or no? If the answer is no, you're going to eliminate. If the answer is yes, you're going to select on the NCLEX, or here for the PowerPoint, I'm going to check mark it with a green check mark. So number one, I didn't see a lot of you selecting number one. Incentive spirometer every 2 hours. There's no need for this. So I'm going to eliminate this one. Oxygen therapy via nasal cannula. Well, we have an infant with bacterial meningitis. Administration of oxygen is very important for this infant. So number two, I'm definitely going to check that one. Now, depending on the severity of the bacterial meningitis and the severity in the breathing difficulty, I might need to use other type of devices to assist with breathing, depending on the severity of the patient. Number three, chest x-ray now and at bedtime. There's no need to radiate the infant for the bacterial meningitis. So I'm going to eliminate answer 3. 4, keyword, continuous pulse oximetry monitoring, which helps with pulse and saturation. Well, we're going to see the similarity here between oximetry and oxygen. We selected oxygen, so continuously monitoring the O2, the oximetry reading, it will be a very important or priority action. So answer number 4, I'm going to keep. Answer number 5, droplet precaution. Well, does droplet precaution apply to bacterial meningitis? To meningitis? Yes. We have to put this patient in droplet precaution until it's ruled out. So answer number 4 is more based on answer number 5, I'm sorry, it's based on content. So we're going to keep answer number 5. Answer number 6, seizure precautions. Does that apply? What was the diagnosis? Meningitis. So the meninges are being affected. We know that this patient can have seizures. So we got to put this infant in seizure precaution. Answer number 6, we're going to select. Answer number 7, neurologic checks. Time frame here, every day. This is incorrect, because the neurological checks needs to be Q1 hour. And think about this. If we're going to put a patient on seizure precautions, do you think we're going to be doing neurological checks Q1 day? No, that doesn't make sense. Plus, look at the other time frames. Continuous pulse oximetry reading. Now, continuously. Neurologic checks once a day or every day. You see the difference in time frame? So we're going to eliminate answer 7. Now, this is not it. The question continues. So write the numbers that you selected so far from 1 to 7. So far, up to now, there are a total of 4 correct answers. Let's go to the next step. Now we're going to go into the cardiovascular system. And we have to identify if 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 applies or are possible or potential nursing interventions. So number 8, type and cross match for 2 units. No need for that. Number 9, we see that time frame again. Vital signs every hour. You see how the time frame is important? Every time you see the time frame is going to be a factor that is going to change the answer. What if I say vital signs once a day? You see, it wouldn't be the correct answer. So the time factor is important. So vital signs every hour is a correct answer. Contact the physician if the temperature is above 102.4. Well, with bacterial meningitis, the patient can have very high fever. And if we have this type of fever, we're definitely going to call the healthcare provider. 11, begin IV cefotaxime, IV antibiotics infusion. The patient will need IV antibiotics. And last answer, answer number 12, blood cultures. The patient will also need blood cultures. So we have a total of 4 correct answers here, and on the previous slide, 4 correct answers. So you have a total of 8 correct answers. So what was your score? 8 out of 8, 7 out of 8, 6 out of 8, 5 out of 8, or even 4 out of 8. I'll be happy with that. What do you have on your score out of the total 8 points?